gentlelady from Texas the gentlelady from Texas had an exact quote along
No, actually, if the gentleman yield, the state of Texas just unanimously passed active shooter alert and signed by Governor Abbott.
Reclaiming my time. Great. My point is, the gentlelady from Texas was talking about the inability of states to carry out the law enforcement function. And the specific, it literally said the quote, is why I got up out of my office and walked down here, as you literally said it. And my point is here we're talking about, federal spending, and the gentleman just said, well, Texas just passed this. Well, good for Texas, right? But we just act like there's this unlimited slush fund in this town to say we're going to go, there he goes again talking about spending. We're talking about, so $2 million, $50 million, $5 billion. Does it matter? Right, when we're $30.5 trillion in debt? My colleagues on the other side of the aisle.
Are you advocating defunding the police? That's who this is for.
What I'm advocating for is allowing the police powers of the states to be able to do the job of the states, which is to police the states. Like, that's the whole point. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they go hide behind this and say, we're not defunding the police because you guys have some bill in here for a grant program, because the idea of the grant program is to then go micromanage what the states have to go do, because that's the purpose of what you want to do. You want to use the federal money, the power and the coercion of the federal government to go tell states what they must do. And you want to do it with borrowed money. You want to do it with printed money.
Would the gentleman yield?
Not just yet. You want to do it with borrowed and printed money, because that's what we do in this town. We go write blank checks because we want to go give a press conference about all the greatness that we're doing in this town, all of the awesome things that we're accomplishing. Meanwhile, you states, you say, well, are they going to do this or not? Well, they actually have to make a tough choice, because they actually have to balance a budget. They actually have to decide, are we going to spend money in a school? Are we going to spend money on teachers? But in this case, what we do is we say, we'll write a blank check. And then my colleagues say, well, we're not defunding the police. But yet it is Democrats across the country that are clearly defunding the police. Austin, Texas, which I represent, $150 million slashed from the budget. People are waiting. They call 911. They can't get through. They're trying to get police. Police aren't trained. The very schools, the police are not actually being recruited now because we don't have the money to recruit them. Why? Because Democrats in the progressive, quote-unquote, oasis of Austin, Texas, stopped funding the police. I could go list by list here. Minneapolis, cutting their budget. New York City, cutting their budget. Cook County, Illinois. Portland, Oregon. Austin, Texas. Baltimore, Maryland. Los Angeles, California. Milwaukee, Philadelphia. All slashed their budget. Cut police budgets. And now my Democratic colleagues want to say, oh, in our infinite wisdom, we're going to go say, here is in our blank check, here's some more money for us to tell you what you have to do.
Would the gentleman now yield?
I will yield to the chairman briefly.
Okay. Very briefly, 2 points. One, these are voluntary. They tell no local authority what to do. The authority can decide what to do for itself. And secondly, with respect to defunding the police, Republican-run cities spend $361 per resident on police. Democratic-run cities spend $498 per resident, at 38% more than Republicans.
In reclaiming my time, that data does not reflect whether or not the adequate number of police or the appropriate level of police are on the streets for what that city needs. That's the whole point of federalism. That's the whole point of allowing people to decide what they want to do. And if Democrat mayors and Democrat city councils are going to across the country defund police, we see the consequences of it. You literally can't deny that in the last 2 years, there's been a massive spike in crime, and there's a direct correlation to the fact that we've defunded police across this country. It is literally in front of us, and the American people know it. And here we are again with the blank check format of the federal government saying, here's money, we're going to put it out there. And even the chairman just said, well, it's this voluntary program. Well, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? Just let Rhode Island, let Texas, let Illinois, let California figure out how to police their own states. Because to the gentlelady from Texas, I'm quite aware that we have 30 million people and we have the 10th biggest economy in the world, and I think we can figure out how to police the streets in Texas. I yield back.